Local, trusted. This is News 3 at 10 on KBTX.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Tonight we've learned that President Donald Trump could be preparing to announce a long-awaited drawdown of troops in Afghanistan. A senior administration official told CNN the announcement could come as early as next week. But the official said the exact timing remains in flux and would involve about 4,000 troops. President Donald Trump has previously indicated that he intended to withdraw several thousand troops from Afghanistan. Currently, between 12,000 and 13,000 U.S. troops are serving in the 18-year war. The troop drawdown announcement comes as the U.S. has restarted peace talks with the Taliban. President Trump indicated that the Taliban would now be willing to agree to a ceasefire. Today, we said goodbye to a KBTX family member and friend. Former KBTX anchor Joe Brown was remembered during a memorial service this afternoon. Family members and friends paid their respects to Joe. He was diagnosed with cancer in February and passed away last week. During his time at KBTX, he anchored more than 4,000 newscasts. Throughout his career, he also worked for the city of Bryan and the former College Station Medical Center, to name a few. If you missed watching our live stream, you can find it on our website attached with this story. Joe Brown was 56 years old. And taking a look at weather, pretty warm for this middle part of December.
Yeah.
Not feeling much like Christmas time just yet, but some big changes coming up soon.
Yeah, there are. And, you know, if you look up to the north, we've got a few of those like winter storm warnings and stuff like that. That's where all the winter weather is expected. Unfortunately, as we near Christmas, I think that outlook looks very slim to none compared to where we could see if you lived a little bit further to the north. But you do notice that area of low pressure has a stationary boundary attached to it. And basically what it's going to do is allow moisture to return back to the Brazos Valley as we head into the overnight. So right now, dew point temperatures sit into the low 50s. As we see them raise back up into the 60s, that just shows you that influx of moisture. It's also going to keep your temperatures just a little bit warmer as we head into the overnight. But this is what we're going to have to watch. With that moisture does come a little bit more of that fog, and you'll notice that it could be a little bit dense in spots as we head out and into your early Sunday morning. So you may need to leave just a few extra minutes of time as you're trying to get to where you need to go. I do think as we head towards the mid-morning hours, though, most of that fog starts to slip on out of here, and then we're off to what could be a pretty warm Sunday. We'll get you more details on that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Erica. Well, a second suspect who is only 14 years old was questioned in the stabbing death of a first-year college student in New York City. On Friday, a 13-year-old faced felony charges for the attack. Here's Kenneth Craig.
Tessa Majors lived in the neighborhood for just 3 months when she was attacked inside Harlem's Morningside Park. A 13-year-old charged as a juvenile with felony second-degree murder, robbery, and possession of a weapon appeared nervous as he sat in family court Friday afternoon, biting his lip. A detective who interviewed the teen told the court how the suspect confessed to his role in the killing, admitting he and 2 friends went to the park Wednesday night to rob someone. The group followed a man, but he says he only watched as his 2 friends grabbed the 18-year-old victim, put her in a chokehold, and stabbed her.
Get a female white stabbed at this time. Rush the bus.
The Charlottesville, Virginia native was gravely wounded and died at the hospital. On Friday, elected officials walked through the park with police, a green space that is not just part of the neighborhood, it's part of people's commutes.
So many people working and going to school at Columbia live in Harlem. And they come back and forth because it's the quickest way.
While there is an increased police presence there, on the all-female Barnard College campus, there's also fear.
I was beginning to settle in on campus, and to hear about it was just such a reality check. I think it's really shook up the campus, and everybody really feels scared, and nobody really knows what to do exactly.
A musician who sang and played bass guitar, Tessa Majors also had an interest in journalism, according to Chris Graham, who hired her as a high school intern at a Virginia newspaper.
She wanted to go to the big pond, and she wanted to succeed in the big city, and she was so excited to be going there. I know she was ready to take the world on.
The 13-year-old suspect is being held in a juvenile detention facility and is expected back in front of a judge Tuesday. That teen's aunt told the media who had gathered inside court he did not do this. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
A fire broke out at Globe Life Field in Arlington, causing smoke to rise from the top of the Rangers' new $1.1 billion home. Around 2:30 this afternoon, the Arlington Fire Department located and contained the fire in the upper sections of the stadium. Officials said there are no reported injuries and the cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Because of this incident, it's unknown at this time if the stadium will still open on schedule this upcoming March. And shots were fired at a mall just outside of Atlanta this afternoon. The gunfire happened after a verbal altercation in the food court. One person was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot wound and the gunman got away. It took police several hours to clear the mall as a number of shoppers barricaded themselves in hiding places. Tonight, police say they've identified a suspect and are looking for him. Well, kids in Robertson County had a special tour this afternoon. The Polar Express made a special stop at the Hearn Depot and transported children on a North Pole adventure. Dozens of kids participated in the event's first year. Children also watched a Polar Express story inside the depot and were given gifts from Santa Claus and one of his elves. Students from Hearn High School also helped make the day special.
We're basically just giving the kids something to do around Christmas because it's a small town and there's nothing local to do for the kids. So we're just trying to keep everything within the community and let everybody come out and have a good time.
We don't have tracks that run in front of the depot. So we had to get a kiddie train, but we've had a tremendous turnout. We've sold out every train. We ran 6 trains.
Money raised from the event will support the depot and its history there. Organizers hope to make it an annual event. Also in Hearn tonight, the city hosted their annual Christmas parade. Residents packed the streets around the downtown as the sun set. The parade included more than 30 floats, local first responders, churches, and businesses. And tonight, Bryan College Station residents dressed to the nines and supported the Junior League at its annual charity ball. This year's theme was Moulin Rouge. It's the largest fundraiser for the Junior League. Along with dinner and dancing, there was a raffle for custom diamond earrings made by David Gardner's.
We love having the community out supporting us. It's a great cause. We're passionate about it. We're 100% run by women volunteers, so it's important to us to have the community come in and see what we do and how we impact our community because we work really hard.
The event raises funds and provides resources for Stuff the Bus and for grants and scholarships. All money raised will remain in the community. Package theft isn't uncommon this time of year, but one Minnesota woman found herself the victim of a porch pirate. They got a snarky note from the thief just to make things worse. Now she's warning others.
Hillary Smith bought a Christmas gift for her boss. When she returned home to retrieve it,
and I looked down and there was a piece of notebook paper folded neatly on the top step where the package probably should have been. So I picked it up, read it, and it basically was a thank you note for letting me steal your package.
She couldn't believe the words she was reading, written by the new owner of your package.
And I do appreciate a nicely crafted thank you note. But this is ridiculous. I was angry and confused and quite flabbergasted that somebody would actually leave a thank you note when they steal a package.
She immediately posted on social media where the thank you note gained steam and caught the attention of St. Paul police.
It's something we've never seen before, and I don't know what to chalk it up to. It's so unheard of.
Police wonder if others got a note and ask people to report these kinds of thefts.
So we want people to report the crimes as they occur so that we can keep track of them and hopefully solve them.
It's, brazen and arrogant.
Smith hopes the decoy package now on her steps.
That's a little gift from my dog.
And this warning will stop thieves and help others have a happy holiday.
Just making sure that we raise awareness that this is really happening, and I don't want people to have their holiday season wrecked to have something big stolen from them,
Coming up, what happened when intruders gained access to every security camera in one family's home. Coming up in sports, we will look ahead to tomorrow's Aggie basketball doubleheader at Reed Arena that could feature history for Gary Blair.
And while the weather may not be active in the sense that you think rain and storms, it will have a lot of changes as we head into your Sunday, most notably with the little bit of fog that comes in the morning and some really warm temperatures by the afternoon. We'll get you a look at it right after this.
It's all about people. It's all about home. Working together, loving our own. KBTX. It's the time that we share. It's for you, it's for me. People who care. Brazos Valley, this is for you. News 3, this is your news.
You're watching KBTX, Bryan College Station. News 3 weather from the Pinpoint Forecast team is sponsored by the Bank and Trust. Local bank, local bankers. And now, local weather.
As we start to get a little bit more data in now that we're getting closer to Monday's cold front, you'll notice that it tries to paint that pretty much everybody picks up on the rain. I want to caution you with this and say that I think a lot of us could pick up a quick, maybe couple tenths of an inch of rain, but I do think the rain will be scattered in nature, so not everybody may actually get in on seeing some of these much needed showers. It's about a 10% chance for rain as we head into tomorrow afternoon. I think it's mostly our southeastern counties, and then by Monday, rain becomes a bit more widespread as that cold front comes on through. Tuesday, Wednesday look to be dry, but then by Thursday, we're working in another system, and that may bring us a small chance for rain once again as we get towards the end of this week. Now, as far as severe weather is concerned, all of that chance really sits well off towards our east. The only way I think our far eastern counties actually see any chance of really even seeing a rumble of thunder is if this cold front slows down just a bit more. That would allow daytime heating to allow us to get some of those better ingredients going to where we could actually see a few storms trying to bubble up. But this is your pinpoint forecast, picking up on that fog early tomorrow morning. Again, give yourself just a few extra minutes if you have to be out early, and there's where that could be a couple of those isolated showers, bringing up that 10% chance for rain. We'll go through the rest of your Sunday. Most of us stay dry, but as we get towards the evening hours, you'll notice a lot more of this rain becomes a bit more widespread as that cold front starts to come together. Cold front starts to move through early Monday morning. This has been pretty consistent across our northern counties by about 5 o'clock through Bryan College Station, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then down past our southern counties as we get towards 10, 11 o'clock. That's just when you're starting to see a few more of these discrete cells popping up out ahead of it, and where you could start to talk about that more severe threat. You'll notice we get that really well-defined line of storms that goes out ahead of that cold front. All of that slips east of us while we stay quiet, work to clear out some of those clouds, and eventually see those temperatures take that big dip as well. So tomorrow's high, 84 degrees. It's going to be a warm and humid one. We'll eventually see these temperatures starting to drop as we head towards Monday. Temperature spread not quite as high, mostly just because you're going to be falling pretty early in the morning, and then we're trying to make that way back down by Tuesday morning to low to mid 30s, and then back into the 50s as we head really through the rest of this next week. But with this big change in your temperatures comes also a little bit more of these gusty winds. I think 10 to 20 miles per hour, some gusts upwards of 30 are going to be possible as we really head into your Monday. So that's really going to be the breeziest day of all. But if you've got some of those outdoor decorations, it may not be a bad idea to get them tied down a little bit more securely as we head into your Sunday afternoon. By Tuesday, winds will be a little bit on the breezier side, but we are working out that wind, and then we are going to be just kind of into a cooler start to the rest of your week. Temperature-wise, though, this evening, it's the mid-50s, close to the low 60s. I really think that's where most of us are going to sit for the rest of tonight. Again, could be a foggy start to your day, but as we kind of head through the afternoon hours, should see that sunshine coming on back, and that means your temperatures are once again back to the low to mid 80s all across the area. Again, our forecast high here in Bryan College Station is 84. If we can meet it, that ties a 95-year-old record in the books. So we'll see. If we're going to get this warm, might as well at least try and go for some of those records. But by next week, again, it is going to be a little bit cooler. But for Christmas, things are looking to be back on that warmer trend. We'll see.
See what just up and down. You never know with Texas weather.
Yeah.
It's always changing, and
always.
Yeah, got to keep the AC on, the heat on, and going back and forth.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Erica.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, one family is harassed for hours after someone was able to hack their home security cameras. That story's next. Imagine you're in a deep sleep. All of a sudden, you hear someone talking to you through your Ring camera. Well, it happened to one Connecticut family. Tonight, cybersecurity experts share what you need to do to protect yourself.
What's meant to add security through these devices added terror in this season of unrest.
Hey! Wake up! Wake up!
So this is downstairs in the basement?
This is downstairs in the basement.
Ed Slaughter's face still drops when he watches how hackers infiltrated his Ring devices earlier this week. For almost 3 hours, they harassed his mother-in-law in the middle of the night. When she couldn't take it anymore in the basement and left, they followed.
They then switched to my camera up in my living room. And tried to scream and yell and get her attention at that point.
The hackers appear to have also spoken another language, but it's not clear where they're from. It's a scene playing across the U.S. with Ring users sharing similar frightening stories. Slaughter is convinced the company experienced a data breach, but Ring countered by telling Eyewitness News, "We have no evidence of an unauthorized intrusion or compromise of Ring systems or network."
In my professional opinion, what we see, especially on that side, is that they're not utilizing all of the security measures that a company like Ring offers.
Cybersecurity experts at Kelser Corporation say most buyers accept the default settings without adding security measures like the two-factor authentication. The company also recommends monitoring all internet traffic with software programs meant to spot bad actors. If not, hackers will see the holes as an invite.
It's no different than me having a safe in my house and leaving my doors wide open.
For Slaughter, he said he's done with Ring.
If you can hack it once, you can hack it twice. You hack it twice, you hack it 3 times.
That is scary. Slaughter says he immediately disabled the Ring devices inside his home and is in a battle to get his money back, but Ring still stands by its products.
Coming up next in sports, we preview an Aggie basketball doubleheader with history on the line for Gary Blair, plus a historic college football rivalry, highlights from Navy and Army after the break.
Sports is sponsored by Allen Honda, corner of Southwest Parkway and Highway 6. Allen's got your Honda. From the KBTX Sports Center, News 3 Sports starts now.
History could be made tomorrow afternoon at Reed Arena. Texas A&M women's basketball coach Gary Blair will go for his 800th career win as the Aggies host the Houston Cougars. Blair would become the 11th coach in Division I women's basketball history to reach the 800 win mark. Blair coached at Arkansas and Stephen F. Austin before he came to Texas A&M. Before his arrival in 2003, the Aggies had not been to the NCAA tournament since 1996. They have now been to the Big Dance the past 14 seasons. Blair's journey to 800 wins saw him turn around the Texas A&M program and put it among the best in the country.
That opening press conference, I had just come from a top 25 school, Arkansas, to now start all over again. A little bit scared to death, but at the same time, I knew that I'm a builder. I build programs, and then I sustain programs. I hire the right people, and I let them work. That's the strength that I have.
Blair's chances to join the 800 win club will come tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock at Reed Arena as the Aggies take on U of H. Now the Aggie men will also be in action at Reed tomorrow as they take on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. It will be the team's first home game since November 20th when they topped Troy. That was also the Aggies' last win. Tomorrow they will have a chance to end a 4-game losing streak.
It's a big game for us only because we haven't won in 4 games. So, like I said, just fight. It's effort. It's grit. We've been practicing all week and not turn the ball over.
I feel like we have to treat every team with the same amount of respect, no matter the name of their jersey. I feel like it's a game that we're supposed to win, but we can't go in there with that mentality, and we have to go in there with the mentality that we're playing the national team. Like, we just have to go out there and play as hard as we can.
The Aggies and A&M Corpus Christi will tip off at 5 o'clock tomorrow night at Reed Arena.
The 2019 winner and 85th recipient of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Joe Burrow, Louisiana State University. Congratulations.
LSU quarterback Joe Burrow became just the second Heisman Trophy winner in Tiger program history, winning by a landslide with the largest margin of victory ever over second place Jalen Hurts. Burrow led the Tigers to an undefeated regular season and the top overall seed in the college football playoff. Burrow set the LSU single-season touchdown record with 48. He also threw for over 4,700 yards and set an NCAA record for completion percentage in a single season at a staggering 78%. Before college football bowl season kicks off, though, it's the 120th meeting between Army and Navy. Army would strike first. Christian Anderson showing patience, keeps it from 5 yards out to end an 18-play, 78-yard drive. Black Knights up 7-0. In the second quarter, a much quicker drive for Navy. Malcolm Perry with a 55-yard run. That's Perry's 20th rushing TD of the season. Then Navy takes the lead right before the half, just the second pass of the game, the first one for Navy, and it's a trick play. Chase Warren finds Jamal Carothers for 6, and they go up at the break. Second half, Navy dominated the ball. Perry seals it in the fourth with a 15-yard TD run. Perry had a monster game, 304 rushing yards on the day, a new record for this game, and Navy breaks their 3-game losing streak to Army, winning 31-7. In high school hoops action, Dimebocks hosting their tournament championship game against Mumford. Opening half, Mumford's Charles Lockett drives to the basket. He goes off the glass for the hoop and the foul. Lockett scored 11 in the game. Dimebocks answers from deep. Blake Scott buries the triple. The Longhorns would lead 39-19 at the half. Scott finished with 21. Third quarter, Raven Moore going to work. He hits the turnaround J, getting 2 of his team-high 12 points, but it would not be enough. Mason Spacek connects on a 3 from the corner. He led all scorers with 22. Dimebocks beats Mumford 62-43. In other boys' scores today, Bryan won their consolation championship in Montgomery over Katy Taylor. A&M Consolidated takes third place with their 81-52 win over Waller. Snook beats Brazos Christian in the Thorndale tournament. Anderson Shiro comes up short to New Waverly in the Centerville tournament title game. Iola beat Round Top Carmine and Fayetteville to win the Fayetteville Classic, and Calvert with the overtime victory over Somerville to win the Bremond tournament. On the girls' side of things, Rudder wins the Fairfield tournament with an overtime win over Fairfield. Snook with a couple of wins today, and the Lady Blue Jays take their home tournament. Centerville beats China Spring 37-31, and A&M Consolidated finishes up the Alito tournament with a victory.
A lot of basketball today, and also a big night for Joe Burrow. I don't think many people are surprised that he won the Heisman.
Right, I think it was a shoe-in. They knew it was coming, so congrats to him.
Thanks very much, Tyler. We'll be back right after this, but first a quick look outside from our Live Eye Network.
Like KBTX News 3 on Facebook.
We're watching for a little bit of fog to develop as we head into the overnight hours, already starting to develop a little bit south of the Brazos Valley, so I would expect that to move inland just a bit more as we head into the early morning hours of tomorrow. Overall, not a cool morning and really not going to be a cool afternoon. I think temperatures are going to sit into the low to mid 80s in a lot of spots. Trying to go for some records tomorrow. We'll see if we can get close. A lot of it will depend on how much sunshine we can work in by the afternoon, but again, a couple isolated showers across our southeastern counties. I really think the bulk of the rain starts to form as we head into late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Cold front comes on in and your temperatures are dropping throughout the day from the mid 60s and down, unfortunately, back into the 50s.
Need the AC one more day.
One more day.
One more day, and then it's going back. Thank you, Erica. That's all our time tonight. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow night at 10.